non-rebreather mask with reservoir. So this flow rate is about 10 liters or greater. To do that, you're going to get 60 to 80% FiO2, and this is variable. Now the reservoir bag should not collapse more than a third on inspiration. You prevent the bag from collapsing 3 times the minute ventilation. So this is going to achieve 90 to 100% FiO2. This is fixed. This is a fixed FiO2 at this level. So to attempt to reach this type of FiO2, you have to eliminate any mask leaks. That means tighten that mask down on the face, any atmospheric environments, and any physiologic dead space. So to decrease the dead space, you have to crank that liter flow up to 15 liters. Crank it up. So you're gonna flood the oral airway full of oxygen and full of flow. And so while the mask is over the mouth and nose, you're just flooding that mask and the oral airway full of air and oxygen. And when I say air, I just mean flow. I don't mean literally air, but I mean flow of the oxygen. And so we're going to eliminate all of that stuff to reach 90 to 100%. And that should achieve the reason why you grabbed the non-rebreather in the first place. So we have a non-rebreather in front of us. And you have of course, the oxygen tubing. This goes right to the flow meter. As you can see, it's shaped differently because you can actually screw it. It's got, see those lines? You can actually screw it onto the flow meter. So you don't always need an oxygen connector, or what we like to call Christmas tree. You can actually screw this right on the flow meter without having an oxygen connector or Christmas tree attached. And you have the bag. It's all folded up, but you have the reservoir bag. Now, if you notice, you have a one-way valve here, a one-way valve here, and inside a one-way valve here. This is what makes it a non-rebreather. You have to have 3 of these to have it to be a non-rebreather, okay? So you can form this to the nose. Once you hook it up to oxygen, this bag should inflate. When the patient breathes in, this bag should not deflate more than a third of the bag, okay? So I would say crank it up. If we want this to generate 90 to 100%, put this tightly on the face, form this around the nose, and crank that liter flow up to 15 liters. Because you put this on because of some type of emergency or acute situation in the first place. So let's go for the 90 to 100% to make sure that we compensate for whatever acute issue the patient is going through. And this is your non-rebreather mask with reservoir. Remember, use oxygen. We have it, use it, crank it up to 15 liters, and let's help that patient.